Viewers, remember, Times Now is today presenting more evidence how Mr. Kejriwal has drifted from the Aam Aadmi Party's core philosophy. In the first part of Operation Sheesh Mahal, we told you how 45 crore rupees of the taxpayers' money was splurged to rebuild the Chief Minister's house to be in line with the grandeur and opulence. Now, the Aam Aadmi Party envisaged a befitting house for Arvind Kejriwal. Now, in part 3, we showed you how it wasn't just renovation as the permission was sought for, but rebuilding of the complex which was done. In part 3, we showed you how an 800-year-old monument was raised to make a palatial bungalow for the DJB CEO with active collusion of the PWD. Today, we will tell you a story of unbound greed for personal aggrandizement, which runs totally contrary to the ethos of Mr. Kejriwal and his great movement of change, as he calls it. Here's a soundbite from 9 years in the past. Here, Kejriwal is talking about how he will be held to different yardsticks and wants to be held to different yardstick. Listen in first to what he had said back then.
कल से जिस घर में मैं शिफ्ट हो रहा हूँ उस घर को लेके काफ़ी कंट्रोवर्सी हो रही है और वैसे तो जिस घर में मैं जा रहा हूँ एक 5 कमरे का घर है, लेकिन कल से मेरे कई चाहने वाले, मेरे दोस्त और हमारे जो पार्टी के सपोर्टर्स हैं, उन लोगों के मेरे पास फ़ोन आए, उन लोगों के और जो जनता के भी फ़ोन आए, उनके मैसेजेस आए और उन्हें लगा कि मुझे ऐसे घर में नहीं जाना चाहिए। सो मैं ये दोनों घर छोड़ रहा हूँ और मैं सरकार को बोलूँगा कि वो मेरे लिए कोई और इससे भी छोटे घर ढूंढने की कोशिश करे। तब तक मैं गाजियाबाद से काम करूँगा।
So you heard him there. He says that he wants to be held to greater scrutiny. It appears that Mr. Kejriwal, after spending 9 years in power, quite obviously believes he is above scrutiny. Now, Times Now will reveal how it wasn't just a mahal for the caste chief minister, but they envisioned an entire killer. That's right, in part 4 of Operation Sheesh Mahal, Times Network will expose just how Aam Aadmi Party wanted to build a vanity project for Chief Minister Kejriwal along the lines of Prime Minister's residence. Earlier, we exposed how 45 crores was sanctioned in haste and amid a raging pandemic. Today, we show you how the Aam Aadmi Party envisioned a massive Chief Ministerial complex by taking over the entire street of Flagstaff Road. Documents exclusively on Times Now reveal how orders were given to vacate 2 bungalows and 8 Sarkari flats, some even raised to be incorporated into the larger Chief Minister's residence. This means that this killer that they're building would take the size of the complex from 4.75 acres to 7.2 acres. Park, a badminton court were also included along with the residence and an office for the Chief Minister. The site map shows how almost all the houses in the entire street were taken over. Remember, from 4.75 acres, the CM complex is now being expanded to 7.2 acres. 8 flats, 2 bungalows on Flagstaff Road were to be incorporated into this fortress. Meghna breaks it down for us.
From 4.7 acres all the way across to 7.2 acres. How is that going to happen? Now, this is the entire area that is now going to be envisaged as the larger chief ministerial, and you can't even call it the complex. It's more like a mahal, a fortress, a killer, if you please. This is what the Aam Aadmi Party is envisaging, which they feel is befitting to the post of Arvind Kejriwal. Let's explain it to you. Now, this is the entire area where the Chief Minister currently residing. I am going to grade it out for you. This is roughly 4.7 acres of land that the current place stays. In addition to that, the entire Flagstaff Road, this is the entire area where you also have 8 other flats, plus you have 2 government bungalows. Who resides in these bungalows? Well, you have none other than judges as well as very, very senior IAS officers who have grade 4, 5 as well as grade 6 bungalows and flats which they have managed to access in this blueprint. All of this is now going to be razed out. So what they have done, and Times Now is also going to show you the eviction notices which have been sent for these 8 flats and 2 bungalows, which are all going to be razed, so that this entire area now becomes part of the larger, and we are going to call it the Killa, the fortress for the Chief Minister, which they feel is going to be befitting to the stature of Arvind Kejriwal. This is the entire area which now, as per the ground reports that Times Now's reporters have been getting for you, have not just been vacated, many of them have already been razed down. They've put out those green curtains and construction is happening inside. They are not allowing us inside. However, we can confirm to our viewers that all of this has been evicted. We have eviction notices also, so that this entire area in the very heart, a very posh area, civil lines area, where you have the top bureaucrats, the Chief Minister, the LG's house, as well as the residents, all of that is there. That entire area is now going to be incorporated to build something of a Killa, a fortress befitting to the vanity of the Chief Minister. This is what the Aam Aadmi Party has envisaged, and we are exposing in part 4 of Operation Sheesh Mahal, and this is the blueprint of it all.
All right, this is a Times Now exclusive, broken first on Times Now. We've accessed these documents. Madhav, Pragya, Akanksha and Meenakshi also joining us on the broadcast, going across to Pragya. Pragya, you accessed these documents that showed the kind of vision or the kind of house or a Killa, as we're calling it, that the Chief Minister had envisioned for himself. Arvind Kejriwal had envisioned for himself. It's not just the 45 crore fancy, extremely expensive renovation that we saw in his residence, but clearly a plan was put in place, and it had already started as well, of a massive house. The entire structure was also being expanded rapidly, all of it planned during COVID-19.
Yeah, right. You know, from making announcement like leaving 5-bedroom flats to be shifting to a very smaller home, to having 8 flats and 2 bungalows vacated for the expansion of his already sprawling bungalow, I think CM Arvind Kejriwal has come down a very long way, and not in a good sense for the voters of Arvind Kejriwal who believed him to be an Aam Aadmi Aam Aadmi in the politics. So considering the fact what he has done, what our sources has told us is that he envisioned the fact that he should have a smaller miniature kind of bungalow as what Prime Minister has. So he wanted something like that in the Delhi, and you know his bungalow is in civil lines area, which is a posh Delhi locality. So no one is opposing to being entitled to a very decent bungalow, but the expenditure he has incurred and also the expansion he is undertaking has gone beyond what we call austerity that he has promised in the politics. So there are facts. He may have wanted to imitate Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi in many ways, but this is not the but BJP is saying that this is not the thing that he should have imitated, because Prime Minister has other protocols also, unlike CM of a union territory. That is one point. And coming back to why he has done it, why the fact that he has done it clandestinely is what matters to many people, and the fact that they are not even coming
Grand
out.
Palace had been put in place. Pragya, stay on with us. Let's also talk about the eviction notices which were served to senior government officers to vacate their homes on Flagstaff Road. So this was a plan that had been put in place. Meghna, take us through the details of the fact that not just was it envisioned, it had been put in place already. Several of these officials were also asked to leave this palace to be built.